Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Boxing TV. I'm Dan Hewitt, boxing commentator and host and creator of Boxing TV. I'm also got a really bad voice because I was shouting that loud last night. It was absolutely ridiculous. So if I sound like a 13-year-old pubescent boy, then yeah, I probably will sound like that tonight. First of all, I've got to shout it out. I'm sure you knew I would. Everybody, by the way, everybody watching, thanks for tuning in. We speak to the best fighters around the world every single week here at Boxing TV. We've had the best guests. Royalty of boxing, and no different today. We've got some fantastic fighters. Ricky Gorman, who's the brother of Nathan Gorman, a cousin of Tyson Fury. Big prospect coming on. We've got Shamara Woods over in America making a debut as a professional. We've got the North American WBC Bridgerweight champion, my very good friend Alfonso Lopez, and also Dean Lynch Ward, who we had on a few weeks ago, who's going to be breaking the news on his BKB Contender Series. Very much looking forward to that. But first of all, I want to know where you guys are from. Listen to me. I sound absolutely ridiculous, but anyway, there you go. Passion for boxing, who cares? I want to know where you guys are from, so make sure you type it in the comments. Lisa and Les, lovely to see you last night. I'm glad to give you your prize. So make sure, guys, share this stream to be in a chance of winning this week's prize. We've got loads of what to call it? I don't know, stuff with Boxing TV on anyway. So make sure you comment, make sure you press shared, and let me know where you're from. I'm going to go to the fans first of all. So let's have a Lee Gardner. How's the voice after last night? I think you can hear it, mate. Mate, I must have punched you in the balls about 20 times last night. I do apologize, Lee. I got a bit excited. Lisa, good evening, Dan. Look forward to your guest. What a fight last night for Nathan Heaney. Absolutely going to go into that in a second. Evening, brother. Great to see you and have a chat last night. Fantastic night of boxing last night as well. What a performance from Nathan Heaney. Got someone coming in from Plymouth. Marcus Pond, hope you're well, mate. Cheers for tuning in, buddy, over on YouTube. If you are on YouTube, make sure you like and make sure you subscribe to help to grow the video. Dean Beddoes from Mitras, one of our very good partners. Thanks for coming online, so much appreciated. So yeah, I'm gonna obviously address the elephant in the room here. We were over in Telford last night for Nathan Heaney against Jack Flatley too. Everybody knows how much I love this guy. He's like a brother to me, but he really did come in another level last night. The guy was he leveled up. He really did, and we're looking forward to seeing potentially a big fight in Stoke very soon. So congratulations to Mr. Nathan Heaney. Of course, David Benavidez had a fantastic win again over Caleb Plants as far as news. So I'm going to be bringing on now the next not in class, but the next descendant of the Gorman and the Fury clan. So there's many of them out there, but from what I hear, Ricky is going to be the best of all of them. So let's talk to him now. Ricky, welcome to the show. How are you, my friend?
Very well, thank you, my brother. How are you?
Better for seeing you, bro. Really good to see you. So you've got one hell of a story. You've got one hell of a background, and not just you, your family. There's so much to talk about with you today. But just introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Bit about me. Well, what's there to say? I don't know. A live wire. A characteristic man. I live for today, not for tomorrow. Say it how it is. Just my own person, my own man, and that's just what I am.
And of course, your brother Nathan Gorman, great heavyweight himself. Was the international champion through the WBA, if I remember rightly. Very good fighter.
Champion, yeah.
Yeah, he has a good memory of that. But yeah, of course. But you say you're chalk and cheese compared to Nathan Gorman. He's your brother, but you're nothing like him. What do you mean?
Well, our Nathan's calm, cool, collective sort of a person. I ain't that. You could put me in the room full of 20 people, and I've got to have my say amongst them 20 people. I just can't help it. So I am. Do you know what I mean? I don't mean that in like an ego way, or because I can't abide anyone with an ego. Alter ego men and me does not go very well at all. But how could I put it? I like to just know that everyone knows I'm there, sort of a thing.
I like it. And I've said this to you before when we spoke, when we knew you were coming on the show. You sound so much like Tyson. Like proper, you really do sound like Tyson so much. I don't know if it's the accent or the way you say certain things, but because Nathan's got a completely different accent to you.
Nathan, yeah, he's like a gentleman, isn't he? The way he speaks, you know.
Bless your heart.
He's ditching his roots. He's ditching his roots. He doesn't like sitting around the fire no more with the pan.
I love it. So let's talk about you and boxing then. So you're a rising heavyweight from the Gorman and Fury clan. Very excited. I think there's great things about you. That's the reason why I approached you to come onto the show. So let's start from the very, very beginning. Apart from the obvious way of life when it comes to travelers, what got you into boxing specifically?
Always been around it, Dan, to be honest with you. Always been around it, mate. Honestly, the gospel's truth. I've been around it since being a little lad. And seeing pictures, John Fury's a young man, Joe Gorman as a young man, Bartley Gorman as a young man, Sam Gorman, and the list goes on and on and on. And once you get raised around that continually, and then coming up being a little lad, then watching on Channel 5 boxing, then Tyson coming along and doing what he was doing, you could just never get away from it.
It's pretty special. It really is. And I want to talk about your background of the Gormans. Of course, back in the day, just to be clear, I don't know if anybody knows the traveller background, but the Bartley Gorman is a descendant of yours. And Bartley Gorman was called the King of the Gypsies. Never mind the Gypsy King, the King of the Gypsies. So tell us a little bit about that, a bit about your background, and of course the association with the Furies and the Gormans.
Well, I can date my heritage back 300 years. That's how far back I can date my heritage, how far I go back, and in regards to boxing. My great-great-grandfather fought Jem Mace. Not many people probably know who Jem Mace is, but Jem Mace was a hell of a fighter. He stood there and fought Jem Mace, which is an incredible thing. There's and how further back it goes than that, Tommy Farr fought me, Bartley Gorman the second outside. That's something unbelievable. Then the more you keep going back into the heritage of me, it's nothing but fighting basically. And then if you see going back in the archives on how Gormans and Furies are relation, well, I'm not joking you, it goes back. We're not just related once or twice or three times. It's what people tend to forget, you see. We're not related once, twice, or three times. We're related 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. I don't mean like through interbreeding, just because, that woman married that man married that woman, and it's gone on and gone on and gone on and gone on, and that's how it's worked.
I like it. I want to talk about something to you that it was almost a risk saying this to you. And it is when it comes to many a traveller fighters that I've spoke to, but I'm really passionate about it, about the way that travellers are perceived in society. It really annoys me. It really annoys me that even in 2022, you're getting people putting posters up to say, you can't park here, you can't come here. Stigmas, you hear all the stigmas. These aren't my views, but you hear people saying things like thieves, crime's going to go up in that area, prices of houses going down near a traveller site. First of all, is this stigma in any way justified? And not only that, how do you feel about it?
Well, you know what, mate? You can't paint everybody with the same brush. And you know what? Maybe, just maybe, some of them do bad things. Do you know what I mean? Not everyone's perfect. So maybe sometimes people have a right to say what they need to say, because maybe some of them just isn't perfect. I say it how it is. Wherever I go, wherever I am, I'm a respected man, due to how I hold myself and how I am as a person. But as regards to other people, if you can't give someone respect, if someone wouldn't give me respect, I wouldn't give them the time of day. And I mean that. I'm trying to hold myself as a professional boxer, but if you got no respect for me, I'm definitely not going to have no respect for you. And the thing is, you see, certain people don't ask for it, but other people ask for it. If you know what I mean. I'm on about, racer, breeder, man, what I am. Mm-hmm. Some of them's all right. Do you know what I'm saying to you? I'm an old-fashioned, pure, true-breeded person, coming back from a long heritage of stuff. But others blows out of context. And it does my mind in, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I can be sat in food places and watching them come in, and my eyes are looking through them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doing. You've got no respect for yourself. So that's my view on it. Listen, maybe that wasn't what you expected to hear, but
No, mate. No, I want to hear it. And I want you to go serious with me because it really pisses me off, mate. It does. I mean, we're and I don't mind. I'm quite vocal myself, and I'm saying you're seeing this all the time at the moment. And people, I don't care if you're a tomato, okay?
Yeah.
How come it's okay to start calling people they and them and their and wherever they want, yet that it can lower people's house prices near a traveller site? You tell me how that's fair. If everybody's okay and everything's all inclusive, everybody wants to be a penguin or wherever they want to be, it should be the same for everybody. And that's race, family line. I don't like it. So if you're one of them, get off my channel. Simple as that. Everybody watching, make sure you drop a like to support the video. More people will watch and get people on, and make sure you give it a share. Thanks very much. I'll go to some of the comments. Let's have a look, see who's out here. Respect is everything. Well said, Ricky. Absolutely. 100%. Look at this here. Close your eyes and you can hear Peter Fury. You do sound like him, to be fair. I'll give you that. Brilliant, great stuff. So, of course, the well-known we're gonna speak to D Mord a little bit later on about his BKB and bare knuckle contender series. The traveller community are well known for bare knuckle. If you have got a problem, let's have it on the cobbles.
Exactly, mate. You know, listen.
What about you? Have you done this? Have you been on the cobbles?
Mate, no. It's you know, going back to your question, it's you know, if two men's got a disagreement, if two men's got a disagreement and there's a disagreement that can't be solved, you know, in a verbal manner where it's not effing and blinding and screaming and shouting. I don't condone none of that nonsense, and that don't interest me. But in regards to it wanting to be sorted, it should be sorted within inside of 10 minutes flat. Take your shirt off, jump on a field, and have a set to. And it should be left there. And it should be left dead in the water then. It should be done. It should be all over and all done. No more nonsense, no more anything else. It should be left as it is. Because that's it. It's no harm. What's the worst that can happen to you? You get your nose broke, you'll get put unconscious. But that's all it is to it. You know, that's it. You're going to go for a lot more worse in life than that. So there's not a lot to it. But in regards to all the rest of what's happening, I don't like it. You know, I'm a very old-fashioned bred man. Do you know what I mean? I don't deserve to be in this 2023. I'm from 1923. I'm 100 years out of date.
I like it. I find it very hard to believe, though. I'd like to think I can read a person. I find it very hard to believe if you're in that room, you commanding that space. I find it very hard to believe that you haven't been on them cobbles. Or is that like a code? Do you not talk about it?
You know what, mate? You know, listen, a man could go on and boast about what he's done and what he ain't done and what he has been and what he ain't been. I ain't that kind of man. Listen, I'm happy doing what it is I'm doing in the boxing world, and you know, I've got ancestries before me what's done it 1,000 years. I don't need to reminisce on that. What they've done is what they've done. They paved the way. They done that. And, you know, it's nice to be involved in a good sport and showcasing it in front of thousands of people instead of up alleyway or on a field or entertaining some other gypsies. I'd rather do it in a ring, get paid for it, you know, entertain some people and have a beer with them afterwards.
Like it. I like it loads. Amazing. So you're related to the Furies, aren't you? Through distant. How does that work? How are you related to the likes of Tommy and Tyson Fury?
Yeah, related on a couple of different ways, to be honest with you. So he's a cousin to my father and he's a cousin to my mother. Now, my great-grandfather, Francis Gorman, and Tyson Fury's grandmother were brother and sister. My grandfather, Nat Gorman, and Tyson's granddad are two first cousins. So, do you know what I mean? It's a lot, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely. So you said to me specifically off the phone when we were talking, I don't know. There's something about you. There's something about you. I can see that charisma coming through, and I liked it. I buzzed off you. So you said that you were going to be the best of the Fury and the Gorman clan. You are the next big thing to hit heavyweight boxing in Britain. Why is that? And how is that? Explain that to me, because it's a hell of a feat when you've got the likes of Nathan Gorman and Tyson Fury and all these greats before you. Why are you going to be better?
Because if you haven't got self-belief, you've got nothing. if you haven't got self-belief, you've got nothing. And if you're going to sit there and say to yourself, you know what, I'm happy sitting here in second place, then boxing ain't for you. You've got to truly commend yourself in this sport and say to yourself, I want it all. These great men didn't become great men through sitting there with a finger in their heart thinking, well, I'll shoot for second.
Ever so sorry, Ricky. I seem to be losing your volume there, matey. I don't know if someone's rang you or something. Can you hear me? Ever so sorry, Ricky. I'm struggling to hear you, buddy. I don't
There
know.
you go.
Oh, yeah, I've got you back. Sorry.
Sorry about
Continue. What were you saying? Sorry, you were talking about self-belief and believing in yourself.
You've got to have self-belief. It's a self-belief sport at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you can have as good as trainers as you want round you, as good as yes men you want round you, but when it all comes down to it, it's you and your man in a squared circle. And that's all it boils down to. And then it comes down to you then to see how well you know your job. Now, I believe that nobody can judge what can happen in their life. At the end of the day, we're not promised tomorrow, are we? So you don't know what's for you.
Yeah.
But what I'm a great believer is if we take it back now to an olden era, is if I haven't been fed for 3 days, I'm going to fight for food and I'm going to fight to win because you know why? I'm hungry. And fighters lose their hunger this day and age because it's all for social media and it's all out of context. It's all run away with them. Hungry,
like
lock yourself away. I mean, I'm not being funny. The UFC man, what wrestles the Bears, the one who fought Conor McGregor. You didn't see him doing very much with social media, did you, or anything else? He locked himself away. Yeah, Khabib locked himself away, and I believe is the only man in UFC to go undefeated.
He's a hell of a man. Wrestling bears, though.
That's what I mean, man. Do you know? But to you to say to him, you could have asked him that question. You believe you're going to go on and be UFC world champion? He wouldn't have, and he said, "Do you give you the answer of no? I'm going to be second place." It's not the case. You're in the sport. You're in a gladiator sport. You're in it to win it. You're fighting for the survival. And I'm in the glamour division. And one slight banana skin, you're out on your back, led there for the 10 count. You're not getting up. So everything's got to be mirror on perfect with the heavyweight division. So I'm with a new coach. I'm with a new trainer, and there's no margin for error when you're getting someone over 16 stone throwing their hands on your head.
Yeah, it only takes one, doesn't it? That's why the heavyweight division is so exciting. It really is. I mean, let's talk about you and your debut. So you took on Milan Ponov, if I remember rightly, and that was a dangerous first fight. I mean, this guy, of course, he had a losing record. He's going to on his debut, but he'd done well. He had some decent wins. Talk us through the fight and talk us through. Was that on purpose to get someone in who's going to challenge you?
I was meant to have, mate, right? Just anyone who knows me knows what's been happening, right? And knows the truth. I have had opponent after opponent after opponent after opponent either pull out or no or whatever. And yes, no, yeah, we're definitely going to fight. Not going to mention no names because I'm that kind of a man. Yeah, we're going to fight. Yeah, we're going to fight. Yeah, definitely 100% we're on to fight. Okay. It comes to the Wednesday. I was fighting on the Saturday. It comes to the Wednesday. This man had just been in, bearing in mind, with Dave Allen. Just got in the ring with Dave Allen. Now, I'll tell you what. Dave Allen's a 27 professional fights, yeah? I know Dave. And he's had 27 professional fights. I had been out of a boxing ring for 7 years. This man had just fought someone 10-0 and come to the ring with 5 knockouts to his name. So I looked up, being the man was, if that's all we've got, let's have it. No problem at all.
What was his name? What was his name?
Milan Ponov.
Oh, sorry, you're talking about him. Sorry, I know someone else who's recently fought Alan. I thought you meant.
Yeah.
All right, of course. He was dangerous.
So he was a dangerous man. He come alive. He come with 5 knockouts to his name, and he was very disrespected when he found out that I was taking him on in my first fight. He said that to me in the weigh-in. Wow. He said, "I don't know why you took me for a debut." He said, "I feel quite disrespected." So it was a funny one. But I just said, "Look, it's just a job, mate." I said, "I'm here to do a job on you." I said, "Which you're here to do a job on me." I said, "May the best man win."
I like it. So you sparred some big names in the sport and done very, very well against these big names. Tell us about some of the people that you've shared the ring with.
So I've been a regular sparring partner. I know it's a bit unorthodox, but it's not unorthodox because he's been a sparring partner for Hughie Fury, he's been a sparring partner for my brother Nathan, and he's been a sparring partner for Tyson Fury. He's also been a professional boxer, and anyone who knows the UFC knows he's a good striking person too. Tom Aspinall.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've been in Tom Aspinall's camps for I'd say a year and a half to 2 years. I've been a main sparring partner for him for a lot of his fights, such as the Spilkser fight. I think his name was Spilkser.
Yeah.
The Andrei Orlovsky, Curtis Blades. There was another kid he fought. No, I just can't think of his name. He fought someone else. Volkov. I've been in camp with him for a lot of his fights. Now that lad's mixed up with some very good competitors. Me and my brother Nathan sparred each other since being babies. I remember once, mate, at the age of 8 year. No, I think it was a bit older. We was older. It was 11-year-old. It was 11-year-old apiece. I'll tell you a funny story. We got left unattended at 12-year-old, right? And when we say unattended, it's not like we got left unattended because we couldn't be left alone because we'd be doing something. And I looked at him. He looked back at me. Do you fancy putting the gloves on? Yeah, I said, we'll put the gloves on. No problem. So outside in the yard where the stones are, we've put the gloves on. Now, mate, I'm not joking. All jokes to aside. We have started off as as it would. And we've punched about and tapped about and having a laugh and having a joke. Till in the end up, we've sat there. He's hit me with a left hook and put me 25 foot across the driveway. Jumped back up, ploughed into him with a load of shots. I'm not kidding. When they come back, you could say, I killed him. Like, you could just see we was in for an hiding. Do you know what I mean? I looked back at him. He looked back at me like, oh my God, we're in for a
That's hilarious. Oh, you gotta love them stories.
But the amount of things, man, we used to do. I mean, because like where we was based, we come from a little village called Rembry, very small, very remote little village, known for its known for its barges, right? So it's a very, very, very nice country spot, very pretty. So for entertainment as young boys, 14-year-old, we wasn't like normal men, really. It was absolutely rampant insane when I think about it. I mean, just lunatics altogether. We'd find the biggest rocks you've ever seen in your life. If the farmer would have come in, definitely a 12-board, the pair of us, would find the biggest rocks you've ever seen in your life. I mean, rocks like this. Fired them as hard as fast as we could into the big water trough thing for what the cows drink out to see who could make the biggest splash. To see that was like hard strength and conditioning training.
Throwing rocks out of a field. That's something off Rocky.
Yeah, I'm not telling you no lies, lad. Then
I love it.
Then I'll never forget one day. This is what I mean was abnormal boys. Really, I was 17-year-old. I'm not just going to tell you exactly how it is, just going to tell the truth. If you speak the truth, you can't go wrong, can you? Let me tell you something. The whole saying's the truth, and a good lie has got to have a good memory. Where if you just be truthful and say it how it is all the time, you've got nothing to worry about. I'm an open book, so I'll tell you the truth.
Love it.
We goes one day out drinking, and we end up in the public house, and we've drunk. And I know we're on about boxing, but I'm only giving you an insight of a story to what our remedy of things was, what we used to do as young lads. Nathan had just had trials for Great Britain team. I was in and out of the gym, and I mean this, mate. Kevin Bradbury from Macclesfield Gym, you ask him, I was the only man what used to go into a gym with blue jeans and rigger boots on and spar ABA champions. And that ain't a joke. That genuinely, honest to God, is not a joke.
Brilliant.
So we're going out. We're on the drink. So he's drinking, I'm drinking, he's drinking, I'm drinking. The next morning comes, 8 o'clock, we've got the track. Oh, man, Jesus Christ. I've looked over at him, he's looked back at me, he said, listen, I don't know about you, he said, but I'm going to definitely spew my insides up, he said, if we touch this track. Now, the old fella's looking at us, and he's on like that there, he's got his hands on his chin, he's watching how we're running this track compared to last week.
Okay.
Well, I'm the colour of the Grinch, I'm green. Right? I'm green. And I'm running this track, and I'm looking back. Our Nathan's that white. It looked like a real-life version of Casper the Ghost behind
You had to have spewed.
Yeah, so I spewed, right? So I've got on all four. Bearing in mind, we've done the track, considering we didn't get in till 5:30 in the morning, which me mother was putting a slipper all over the back of my head, all onto his legs and all. And, oh, man, I swear to God, we'd come off the track, and Nathan Clark looked at us both. He said, whatever's wrong with you? So I was, like, thinking to myself, if he finds out we've been on the drink, I thought, we're going to get killed.
You're done.
I thought, plain and simple. I thought, please. I thought, what can I say? I said, I've got the worstest case of food poisoning, mate. I said,
no.
Yeah. So our Nathan's up there, but he's like led down, but he's got a sweatsuit on and he's led down. So then from there, I think it was a week after, we had a trial for opening sparring day down at the Solly gym. So I'm there, Nathan's there, and a young kid called Nathan Qualis. But I'm going to be telling you lies if I can remember the name of the other man who was there. He was from Hook and Jab and a good kid. He had like a good few knockouts and was a good heavy enough puncher. So we've landed there. Our Nathan's looked, I've looked. So Wayne Smith from Golden Gloves was there as well, and there was a few other lads there. Nathan Qualis' team and whoever else. So obviously, them days, we're the big boys, we're the big youths, you know what I mean? Because it was youths at the time, was 17, 18-year-old. So we was big for our weight. Do you know?
Yeah.
So off we goes into it right now. Now they're saying to me, Nathan, like not speaking bad about the other lads, but we've ran the show there. Do you know what I mean? I don't mean that in any disrespect to anybody.
No, it's fair enough. If you're the better fighter, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
We've landed there and we've just done a job. That's all. We've landed there and I've looked at him. He's looked back at me. So now they're trying to get two of us to spar. Used to spar now. So it caused a bit of ruckus in the gym, and we'd just never do that. Do you know what I mean? We'd done it once, as that when we was them little kids on the stones.
But you're not going to just jump in there with each other. I know, I respect that. I'll tell you a funny story, and I very rarely talk about me, but it's a funny story, and it's really topical considering Nathan fought last night. So me and Nathan were sparring partners for many years, and his dad was like my dad. Nathan he knew for caught last night, and he trained both of us. Anyway, I knew I was sparring with Nathan on a Sunday morning, and I had a bad stomach, like, if you get me drift. I had a really bad stomach, and I forgot to tell Joe, his dad, that I had a bad stomach, right? And I couldn't then tell him, I couldn't spar the next day, mate. That'd be it. I'd be ruined. Oh. Anyway, get in the ring. I'm like, oh, I ain't going to make it here. I'm going to make it. And Nate hits me with this body shot, and I swear to God, I nearly turned that blue canvas brown, mate. And jumped out the ring. I was like, oh my God. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. Really topical, and it's something I want to ask you about because it's obviously really hitting the news massively at the moment. Tyson Fury against Usyk. In your opinion, what's happened here? Who's been the guilty cause? And can Fury even beat Usyk?
Can Fury beat Usyk? Yes. Yeah, Tyson can beat Usyk. He's a mobile 6'9", 20-stone man. But listen, I like to be fair, and I like to give everyone a fair crack of the whip and be straight. Usyk, fantastic boxer. I called it a long time. I called that Usyk man, being a banana skin, when he had just got to heavyweight and everyone was slagging him off over the Chaz Witherspoon fight or whatever the man's name was who he fought. Yeah. I said, that's a spike to catch a mackerel, that, my friend. I said, do not be for 1 minute fooled by that. I don't think he wanted to show his best in the Witherspoon fight and in the Chisora fight because they'd look up and go, no. And I'm not just saying that. I think for the elite lads, no. He showed his true worth when he went over and fought Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, absolutely.
Done it not once, done it twice. Usyk, fantastic. Southpaw, tricky, very hard to hit, good combination puncher, very fast-footed, elusive, very hard to pin down. But when you've got that, but in a bigger, heavier frame, I'm just trying to be fair. Do you know what I mean? It's
there's a true saying: a bigger man will always beat a good big man will always beat a good small man.
Yeah, and we do know it's heavyweight boxing. It only takes one wallop. But as we know for Tyson, he's took full-on wallops. He's took crunches up the side of the head. We've seen, shots ripple down the side of his head.
Yeah.
We've seen times where he's been led like that and his eyes just about blinking. We've seen him with early in his career. Nevin Pikage hit one from the back of the all. He threw a right hand from the back of the all. Boom.
Yeah.
On the chin. Boom. Led that jump back up. Steve Cunningham. From the back of the all. Down again. Deontay Wilder. Looked like he put him unconscious for a month. Never mind for a 10 count.
Yeah, I've got to back you up on that one. But what's the reason it broke down? Was it Usyk's fault or was it Fury's fault? Because I think everybody doesn't really know, and they don't even know who to point the finger at.
Mate, I don't. I honestly, I give you my word, I honestly don't know. That's something I can't pass judgment on because I honestly give you an honest verdict. I give you my word, I honestly don't know. And it
could be anyone right now. It could be both pointing fingers at each other. Going on to another one of your relatives, Tommy Fury, of course, fought Jake Paul in a massive fight, a huge fight, huge money fight, made up something like 750,000 pay-per-views. I mean, they were the ones that were legal. So you can only imagine how many people watched this fight. Do you think that Jake Paul can go back to the drawing board and beat Tommy Fury?
Do I think he can go back to the drawing board and beat Tommy? No. Did I think it's in the best? Honestly, I'm being totally honest now. Do I think it's in the best of Tommy that night? I'm going to say no because I watched him in sparring. Now, bearing in mind, I seen a bit of Tommy's camp when he was getting ready for the Jake Paul fight, and I watched him in with some very decent kids, and was doing a number. Okay. So you and I'm not on about lads, who you could just say, oh, well, they're all right. I'm talking, good class,
good level,
top level lads. 15 in the country. I'm talking.
Right.
I'm not gonna name them because it's not my place to say or do anything like that.
I think I've got a pretty good idea who's in his camp. So yeah, they're the good kids. Back in that.
And I watched him, but I think the pressure of you got to change your name will leave you in Saudi Arabia if you lose. I think the pressure's lied on him. He's the you're gonna beat a YouTube star, ain't you? You're gonna beat a YouTube star, ain't you? But what you gotta bear some in mind is with the YouTube star, if I'm nearly a billionaire. And I've got so much money, I can get the best nutritionist in the world. I can get the best trainers in the world. I can go and spar with Lawrence Okoli if I want to. I'll say, yeah, mate, there's 10 grand. Give me some rounds. Show me something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Now, all right, you could say, well, hold on then, Rick, that being the case, Tommy's got Tyson Fury. Let's not get it twisted. There's only one Tyson Fury. There's only one. And no one does what he really does. The man's not normal. He's been to everyone's back garden and beat super champions. It's weird. The man's strange, honestly. I'm talking about my own cousin. The man's touched with the way he does things.
Yeah.
But what a man in regards to it. So Jake Paul wasn't so much a YouTube star when you've been training with the best fighters for 4 to 5 years.
I've got to back you there. That is very true. And he can come back and he can do well. A question for you. This whole change your name if you lose to Jake Paul, this whole stay in Saudi Arabia, I find that hard to believe that they were ever going to do anything like that when John Fury didn't sign that contract. So was it all fun and games? Was it all to drum up the fight? Or were they really going to do something horrible to him? Bless him.
You know something. Looking at it into a recluse. Their dad, John, is a very proud man. Like, my cousin John's proud, like very proud. And I know with some interviews you see him and he's loud, but you get John on his own. John's a gentleman, which I'm pretty sure you probably spoke to John yourself at the boxing and stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely.
He's a completely different person. Now, looking at that into the insights of it, I don't know. I think it did lie a lot of pressure on Tommy. I could see it all over his face, and that's coming from someone who was there. Do you know what I mean? It was a lot. It was a lot for him. He cried after the fight, not because I beat him. I think it was like the relief of saying I've won.
Yeah. It's a lot of pressure on such a young man's shoulders. I mean, I didn't particularly like it, to be fair, and credit to Tommy for doing so well. And he seems that kind of man, John Fury. Very, very respectful, but he can't off. Drum up a fight though, can he? I mean,
he can get the drum rolls going.
Listen to this. I'll give you some breaking news. Listen to this. You don't know this. Nobody knows this, but I'm happy to say it. So, a certain heavyweight is coming over to the UK soon. Shannon Briggs. We had him on the show a few weeks ago, and I know his promoter very well. I know them all very well. So I'm not going to give too much away. But they were saying, "Can you give me some names? Give me some names of who's going to sell a fight." But do you know what I said? Do you know what? One of my followers here said John Fury. Can you imagine how much money Shannon Briggs and John Fury would make? And not only that, how entertaining.
It blew the roof off.
Maybe mint. One of them taking the top off, the other one is saying, "Let's go, champ." It'd be absolutely quality.
Blow the roof
Bless
off.
you. Ricky, for you, mate, I just want to say from my end, mate, a massive thank you for coming on the show. You're great to talk to, and I'm really, really looking. This is why I like to speak to people at this point in their career, because you can no doubt at the end of this you're going to have people following you and going, "Oh, Ricky, I remember speaking and learning about his story," and that's what it's all about. You're a very respectful man,
mate.
and I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to helping support you through my channel moving forward. So thanks a lot for coming on the show, my man.
God bless you, my brother. Listen, thank you very much for everyone who's watching, So God bless you, Dan. Thank you for having me on, and it's been a pleasure speaking to you, mate. It really has. You're a top man yourself. Absolutely. Very, very, very thankful for letting me come on here, and having a speak to you.
Yeah, it's been nice. Bless you. I appreciate it. Have a great day, matey. Take care.
God bless you, brother.
I liked him. I'm a bit partial for a bit of Ricky. I think he was sound. Absolutely sound. This couldn't be better. Better timing if I tried it. I've been watching Alfonso Lopez, who's the North American WBC Bridgeweight champion, who's just literally sat down. So that was great timing for his driving around, and now he's just sat down. So I'm going to introduce now someone who I know there's a lot of people watching now who know Alfonso. I've done a lot of work with Alfonso, commentating out in Texas. Love the guy to bits, and he's a special talent. Now I've said his name, he's disappeared though. Typical. He's coming back on. So this guy has only really lost to elite, and when I'm talking elite, I'm talking Kelly Pavlik. I'm talking one of the legends of the sport. Zurdo Ramirez, he fought not too long ago. This guy is a hell of a talent. It's a pleasure to call him my friend, and he's pushing now to fight for the Bridgerweight world title. Introducing to you, Alfonso. Can I say I love you? Can't say anything more than that, matey.
How are you, Dan? Good to see you, baby.
Absolutely brilliant to see you. Do me a favor, just turn your phone on the side though, so I can see you fully. Here he is. How's the family? How's the team?
They're doing very well. Everybody's doing very good. We're I can't complain. Kids are great. Family's good. We're just staying busy.
Of course, your son's growing up every day, which is just wild to see. I'll be, of course, follow you very, very closely. So it's great to see. So to introduce you, Alfonso El Tigre Lopez is a special fighter. He's also a promoter, and he now wants to fight for the Bridgerweight WBC Bridgerweight world titles. Now you already are. So you're currently the NABF. You are, aren't you? Currently the NABF. Yes. So you currently what's known as the NABF. So people, if you're watching over in Europe or the UK or anyone else in the world, that's almost like a European title, similar to that, or an intercontinental title, something of that nature. But that is the North American WBC champion. He won that. You've had 2 fights now at Bridgerweight. For me, it's a big move because you're a super middle even at some stage, and light heavyweight, very big, and you had to work hard to get that. Even though you may have hid it from me, it was pretty clear. It was pretty clear how hard it was to make these weights. But you really are a professional. Why have you moved up to Bridgerweight?
Well, I think it's the opportunities. Honestly, I think it's the opportunities, and at the age that I'm at now. I had making light heavyweight was very difficult. I think with the COVID year, and just the downtime, we didn't have gyms quite as open as consistent. You're trying to work out at home. It was very difficult to make it work. And I think, just kind of bulked up a little bit, put on some weight, and it was like, we kind of bypassed cruiserweight. Honestly, I really can be a cruiserweight, but there was some opportunities with the Bridgerweight. It was a new division. It had a lot of, it just had a lot of interest from the world, from the WBC, and WBC has always been very good to me. And I've had I had the light heavyweight NABF title, even a super middle, intercontinental super middle title. So it was just something that we wanted to shoot for. Was a new division, big boys, but something I thought that we could handle.
One thing I like about you, absolutely, and one thing I like about you, Alfonso, is you're very, very good technically, which I feel now you're moving into the bigger boys, let's say, they don't have the same skills as that. It's very rare. We're talking, of course, there to Tyson Fury's cousin, and he's saying, this guy's 6'9". I mean, he's unreal. It's rare. It's very rare. To get someone who's that big. That's why you get some of the smaller ones winning a heavyweight title, because they could outskill. Look at Roy Jones Jr. when he went up to heavyweight. He had the skills in order to get up to that level. So do you feel at that level, even the best in the sport right now in Bridgerweight, do you think that skills pay the bills? You're going to teach them a lesson? Yeah,
absolutely. I think it's going to play a huge factor into a fight with me at Bridgerweight, only because I compete with light heavyweights who hit just as hard as heavyweights, and the speed is different, the footwork is different, and so you're coming from that level of fighting to moving up to bigger guys who just aren't used to fighting this fast or this slick or with the technique and pace per se. It's going to cause challenges. So I think with my style and what I can bring to the table, it's a great chance for me to just display skills. And now you have to be perfect. These are big boys that hit hard, lots of pressure. So there's going to be some. It isn't just something that skills are just going to take it. You see Caleb Plant last night. He's got tremendous boxing skills, but bigger guy kind of stayed on him, kind of kept pounding, kind of kept putting a lot of pressure, wore him down eventually. And so you got to be prepared for those things. You got to be relaxed and be able to handle it.
Absolutely. Well, there's some beasts in the division. So in your last fight, you won the NABF title,
I did.
And it was a great performance again. Tell us a little bit about the fight. Talk us through the fight.
Well, when I first won the NABF title, it was a very tough fight from a Hungarian fighter. It was when I picked up the belt over a year and a half ago. Boxing. He was used to fighting the big heavyweights. He was fighting as a true heavyweight. Finally, we fight at the Bridgerweight division, which is under 224. And he was big and strong, but he had a slow pace. Did hit very hard, but the boxing behind just kind of sticking behind the jab and the movement and the feints and the fakes and the pressure without really engaging or over engaging was key in winning that fight. And then I defended it in April of last year, and that was the pace. I started a little slow. Opponent kind of got changed up on me late in the game, and we had to make adjustments. We had to take the fight, and I did suffer a headbutt in round 5, but I was up on the cards, and so we did win that fight. But cuts held now. Took a little while, but I'm better now.
Bless you. Still beautiful. Still beautiful. So there's a big fight in the Bridgerweight division coming up between Alan Babic and Lucas Rozansky.
Great fight.
I love Babic. He's been on the show before, and I loved him. I thought he was a great guy, and I've got a lot of respect for him. Yeah. But how do you feel that fight will go between the two?
This fight coming up with Babic, and I think that's gonna be a great fight. I think Babic's pressures, is his key. He's gonna take the licks. He's going to keep the pressure on you, and he eventually slowly wears you down. I think, but it's going to be entertaining. They're both great fighters, and so I'm excited to watch it just to see who makes the adjustments. But it's going to come down to who can do some small things a little bit better, because they both. It's going to be strategic, but Babic, he really doesn't he kind of uses that relentless strength and that just that bowling ball head of his. He just eats those shots and keeps coming. So it's going to be very interesting to watch.
Bowling ball head. Oh
yeah, it's solid. You look at it, it's just like, geez, imagine hitting that guy all the time.
He looks like a Spartan, doesn't he? He really does. He looks. If he was on 300, the film, I don't think he'd even question it.
Absolutely,
but he is. He's brilliant. So I want to obviously part and parcel of this is, of course, Mauricio Sulaiman, the president of the WBC. I know very well. I speak to him on the regular. I'm going to send this once I've edited this to Mauricio Sulaiman, because I think now's your time. You've done this isn't just new to you. I was looking on the top 10 list. your career's just, I don't even know a lot of them. And if I don't know a lot of them, then that's saying a lot, because my wife hates boxing because she lives with me. So if I don't know a boxer, then something's wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Question to the WBC, and then of course a partly question to you. So Ryzansky hasn't fought for like 2-3 years.
Yeah,
he's talented and he's a big puncher. He's pretty much knocked out everybody he's fought. So it's going to be interesting because Babic has been hurt a few times. So that's going to be quite interesting. But why have they picked Ryzansky, who is, as far as I'm concerned, inactive, when they could have picked one of their current champions? Why do you think they've done that?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I get it asked quite a bit. I mean, I think it's the business of boxing. There's a lot of unknowns that are going on in the background that, we're just, you kind of don't get all the details to. And, I think it's, sometimes I feel like it's just the time, the placement, maybe the styles, just what they think was going to be a better matchup, where these promoters maybe feel that they can make more money in selling tickets. And so I think there's a lot of just business side that comes into these events, but it's unfortunate because you got someone like me who, yes, I'm a promoter, but I'm a local, USA, local Texas promoter, right? A lot of my shows, and I promote myself quite a bit, I fight for myself, but I don't have a big advisor or big manager or even promoter per se that is out there hustling and making the moves for me. So, we do it a lot I do it a lot myself and my team and my company. And I think, sometimes it just, it doesn't get the respect as it should per se, because it's a tough sport already. And when you're trying to build your career and you're trying to stay relevant and you're trying to do things properly, fighting the best fighters, getting ranked in the top 10, giving lots of young fighters opportunities in the promotional game. And, you hope that those things would pay off at some point, but sometimes it just seems that you're just kind of overlooked being a small guy.
Yeah, so you feel that maybe because you haven't got the big boys necessarily behind you, feel that if you did, maybe you'd have more opportunity, is pretty much what you're saying.
Yeah, so I think you're kind of overlooked. I think you're kind of overlooked. I think you're just kind of you're not you don't have someone sitting per se. You don't have a hand or a seat at the table. I guess it's someone there in the constant in the talking with everybody. But I'm a very honest person. I'm going to work hard. I'm gonna give it the best bet that I can. I want to fight the best fighters, but doesn't mean I'm going to sit here and hoot and holler and scream and throw a fuss and create some type of promotional extravaganza per se that you see fighters do nowadays. That is not going to be me. It never has been me. But I feel like it's just respect is what I've always been given to people in this sport, and I think it's deserved.
Absolutely like it. Everybody watching, if you're out in Texas, make sure you let me know that you're watching. I'm sure there'll be a few. Felix, if you're watching, I absolutely love you, mate. So I hope you're good. I can imagine you will be. As far as kind of people watching, make sure you like, make sure you share, and keep your comments coming in. I'm going to go to the comments with you in a second. There's a few things I want to ask you first of all. So Alan Babic, relentless, come forward fighter. He fights the way he fights.
Yeah.
For you, you'd have to have similar to what Nathan did last night.
Yeah.
Plan A, B, C, D. You need to have that against him. Okay.
Absolutely.
What would be your approach in a fight against Alan Babic?
I mean, I think the approach is strategic boxing. It's strategic boxing. It's fundamental boxing. It's the proper distance and range. And making sure that you're in great shape to keep him off balance and never let him set his feet to just get to banging on you. Definitely stay off the ropes because that's where he's at his best.
Yeah.
Where he's backing you up and getting you there, and then he's slinging the big punches. You got to take the big punches away from him. You got to make him want to move those feet. You got to keep touching them and touching them. You got to fight like a Usyk. You got to be very slick. You got to be very smart. You got to be strong enough to be able to sit in there and bang with the guy. You're not going to just, I'm never going to just backpedal and run away from anybody. You got to be able there and sitting there and bang the body and and let them know that you can be there, and then you got to get back on. You got to be smart, but it's got to be a very strategic fight. You got to be smart. You got to be in great shape.
I love it. So let's say either of them win. Do you what's your message? What is your message out there to not necessarily anybody, but to the world of boxing? Do you want this fight next? The
I would
winner of
love
this.
I love the fight next. I think I've deserved it. I think I put the time and effort over years of fighting great fighters. I've had some setbacks, I've had some injuries, but I've never let it, make me put a doubt in my mind about quitting. I love the interview before this. So he's like, it's what you think of yourself. I feel
Yeah.
I can fight with the best. I know I can be a world champion, whether it's as a bridgerweight or shoot, if I got to get down, I can still make cruiserweight. Any of those divisions. But I want to fight the best fighters. I want a world title opportunity, and I feel like I've given a lot of time and effort to the sport, and I think I've earned a shot. And so whoever wins the fight, doesn't matter who it is. I'm not calling out names. All of them are tough. All of them are great, and none of them are easy fights. It's just you want the opportunity. You want to fight the best fighters.
I like it. I like it. And let's say you do get to fight for this Bridgerweight world title, which would be incredible tip off to your incredible career. Do you feel that you can be a dominant force and stay at the top in that division?
I believe so. I think at the Bridgerweight division, I think it's a great division for me. I was never a small heavyweight. I played football in college, walked around 215 easy just before I even started boxing. And so now, I'm full fledged, Bridgerweight. I can make cruiserweight. A little easier. But yeah, I think I could stay there. I think it's a good. I think like you see, the bigger guys can fight a little up in age as they get bigger. The pace isn't right. It's crazy. So I absolutely feel that I could stay there and fight with all the best guys that you see ranked right now. I could fight with all of them.
Absolutely love it. Well, let's hope that we get this dream fight to tip off an incredible career. Alfonso, I just want to say from my end a massive thank you, for coming on the show. Immense love for you and the team. Hope to see you
very
soon.
much, Dan. Obviously, it's been a while since I got to be on the show. I love what you're doing. Thank you very much for all of the support. Honestly, without you, we've been getting after it for years now. Love the family. I love the support you give my family. And I love what you're doing. So keep it up, because we don't have these opportunities to get out here and just get our word out. People just hear us, see us. It's very difficult to reach the people without good people like you to help us out. And so thank you very much, and appreciate the friendship, and we love you.
Love you too, my brother. I'll see you soon. Take care.
Yes, sir. All right, thanks, Dan.
So much love for that bloke. Let's go to the comments though. While Alfonso's still there, actually, let's go to the comments. I'm going to stick him back on. Alfonso, you're back in the room. All right,
let's go.
All right, let's have a look here. So Lisa met you when you came to Stoke.
Oh yes, I know Lisa.
she follows you. Hey up, Alfonso.
Fantastic.
Looking forward to your next fight. Lovely man. Sending love. Lee McAllister, one of my good friends. Let's go, champs. Two top guys on here, both warriors in their own respects. Lovely.
Thank you.
As you get older, the weight jumps are better for the fighters, save burning out. Old school, ripping the fighters down only takes time off their career. That's a really, really good comment.
Yeah, it is.
Lee Gardner, love that confidence from Alfonso. You can't help but believe in him. Absolutely. Love the guy. Leslie, I see the respect for each other, which is great to see. All the best, Alfonso, in your next fight. The very best to yourself and family. Stay safe and look forward to you winning those belts. Lisa said you must come back to England again, Alfonso.
Absolutely.
That was good fun. I tell you what, one thing not many people, well, some people may know, but we brought Alfonso. Well, he came over to the UK and asked for my help with some sparring. And he just think since, so you sparred, was it Summers you sparred? Aziz,
Summers. Summers. Yep.
To bear in mind, just to give you an idea, Summers is now the English champion.
I seen. Yeah, I saw that.
You've given him something new, I'm telling you.
Yes.
Aziz is the European champion.
Yeah.
So and you came over, of course, to spar with him. So that was brilliant. Lee Gardner said, "Do you think your speed and fitness would be the key skills to beat Babic?"
Absolutely. It would take footwork and to take a hand speed. I wouldn't be able. You don't want to rely on me not being just naturally as big as those guys. I wouldn't be able to rely on my power. I have power, but I wouldn't want to rely on it. I would want to rely on my footwork and my hand speed, and just putting punches together.
Love it. Alfonso, I'll let you go for real now. I just didn't want people to not be able to say aye. So I'll see you soon. Love you, brother.
No, it was great to hear it. Thank you.
Take care. What a man! What a man! Now I'm going to be bringing. I've got my two guests. My two final guests are all back in the studio. I'm going to be speaking now with a guy who was on the show a few weeks ago, Mr. Dean Lynch Ward. Dean is a bare knuckle fighter on the streets. Saying that sounds derogatory, but he's a tough kid, and he's doing some amazing things with BKB Contender, which I think is really, really exciting. Check it out. Exciting stuff, Dean. Welcome back to the show. I feel like you've never left, mate.
Yeah, no,
Great
it's a pleasure as always, Dan. Pleasure as always, mate.
Bless your heart, bless your heart. So Dean is well known for his, let's say, unlicensed bare knuckle boxing against the likes of Decker Heggie, and he's a personality. Let's just call him that. And he likes it, and he loves it, and it's great to see. The reason you're here, though, is because we're going to be talking about your new venture now, which is called BKB Contender. Bare knuckle boxing, basically, in a contender series. So rather than me explaining it, I'd love you to explain exactly what you're doing with BKB Contender.
So basically, I'm putting together, I was looking and I was tweaking, obviously, being involved with bare knuckle boxing, being involved with, obviously, a previous promotion that I was involved in at the start of it. And I was just looking to what I can bring something new to the table in terms of bare knuckle boxing, what had not been done before. And, you've got that many promotions now. When we first started the first bare knuckle promotion, what we started, there was only a few platforms, really. Now you're looking out there, they're getting it's a fast-growing sport. And I thought, well, what can we do with this sport that's never been done before? And obviously, with me watching the combat sports for years, I thought, I wonder, a contender series, I spoke about it a while ago, and I thought, what, let me go and dot the T's with the I's in a sense and see where I can get it. I can get it moving. And I looked and I thought, well, you know what? I weighed it up for what it was. Looked at the costings and thought, I can do that. Is it going to be, am I up against it, putting it together? A lot of people think I am, but I was more or less 50% there when I put the idea on the table. And I just thought, what, it's going to be great for the sport. bare knuckle boxing is probably one of the fastest growing combat sports at the moment, and especially in the UK, it's going through the roof. So I thought, what, let me just try my hand at something. So I spoke with a few fighters. The interest, the feedback I got back from the general public and fans and stuff like that was tremendous. And I thought, what, let's go for it. And pretty much I'm executing the first bare knuckle contender series. It's going to be an 8-week series. Starts on the first week of August. So and that's where we're pretty much up to at the minute. So I mean, it's amazing. In terms of the series, we're going to be. The fighters are going to be getting the meal preps, the best nutrition. They're going to be getting the right proteins, nutrients. They're going to be getting the training camp's going to be immense. They're going to be housed together like a Big Brother reality TV type thing. So it's amazing. Everything's coming together. I'm enjoying what I'm doing now for when the series kicks off. You know what I mean? I'm enjoying this more than getting ready for to go and have a scrap on the cobbles. You know what I mean? So. No, honestly, it's amazing. And one of the lads I noticed on your live before, a lad popped up called Marcus Pond. Yeah. He's the English bare knuckle champion. He's one of the lads that are going into the contender. So big shout out to Marcus Pond for tuning into the live, and the whole of Plymouth are behind him as well.
Great to see. We'll have a chat with him. Shamara, if you can hear me, you will be coming on next. So we're going to be bringing on Shamara Woods. Don't worry, I can see you. I know you're back now, Shamara. I can see you. I've been looking at you all the way through. I see all of you. And I see some right funny stuff that people do. But yeah, so you'll be on after. So Dean, I'm going to ask you some pressing questions today. Because I think it's only what people want to be asking. So I think it's good that we address the elephants in the room. It's nothing too bad. First of all, how did you choose the fighters? How did you choose the fighters, the contender series? Did they come and apply for you, or did you approach them?
Well, what I've done is I just put the feelers out there. Obviously, I remember the majority of the fighters I actually know. I've spoke to them prior to that, with me being part of a promotion last time, what I was part of. So I actually knew a few fighters, and I'd put the feelers out to them a couple of months beforehand, and just said, look, I might be putting together this BKB contender series. So I had already had a handful of fighters, and I had like a handful of inboxes that I'd not opened for people wanting to come into the series. as soon as I put the first video out there, I put a video out there saying I'm going to be hosting the BKB Contender Series. The inboxes just started flying in, and I just thought, you know what, let's select. So, you know, I had to pick, in terms of the fighters I had to pick there, you know, I've got people that have had one bare knuckle fight. Of these lads in there that's had 8 bare knuckle fights. That's what makes it competitive. Do you know what I mean? And like you're saying, you know, all these lads are up for it. I mean, I've got one lad there that's coming in. I've got, you know, Marcus Pond. I'll give him a big shout out. You know, he's an English bare knuckle champion. You know, pit fighter, fought in the pits and stuff like that. So these are the caliber of guys that are coming in. I hope that coming into the Contender through a full training camp, you know, when I hope that these guys go on from being in the BKB Contender to go make an impact in the bare knuckle world. I hope that they get the time to shine. I hope people do see him, recognise him, and, you know, help him, because, you know, it's a fast growing sport, but it's still not where it needs to be. And I hope that I can, you know, try and get a good group of fighters that leave there, where, you know, promoters and promotions start looking at these lads and think, you know what, he's a good fighter, he's decent, I want him. You know, I'll give these guys opportunities, because these lads are training hard. You know, they're training hard, they're putting it on the line, they're getting in there, they're going toe to toe, bare knuckle. You know, they're not getting the rewards that I think they deserve, and I think that, you know, the Contender is going to give them a bit of an opportunity to try and get themselves out there.
I like it. Really, really good. Good, and this is actually something I was going to go into. Although the safety of the fighters, this is from Lee McAllister. Lee McAllister is a very good fighter. He's won, I think, got titles from lightweight to heavyweight. He's brilliant. Very good friends. Although the safety of the fighters on BKP is not the best, to be honest. A lot of them are heading for brain damage. I've got a question for you here. It is pressing, but I think it's something that needs to be said and addressed. So, what you're doing, that in some people's eyes might not necessarily be a sport. I think you agree with that, yeah?
Yeah.
What safety precautions have you put in place to, you know, secure if anything goes wrong, you know, on these streets? Because of course with boxing you've got paramedics, you've got a doctor. Do you know what I mean? What safety precautions are you putting in place in order to ensure?
Well, obviously in our show, obviously they'll be going through a training camp. Then obviously they'll get picked 2 fights each other on the Contender show. The day of the fight, they'll get the medical before they get in the ring. There'll be medical staff there, and obviously when they're going through training camp as well, we will have a first aider in the gym at all times as these guys are just going through training, sparring. Obviously they're going to spar, and they'll be sparring with gloves on. They'll be doing proper training camps. And that's pretty much it. You know, safety's paramount. You know, at the end of the day, it's, you know, I'm hosting a show. I understand it's entertainment, but my job is to ensure the safety of the fighter. If I get fighters there and they're looking a bit weight drained, and, you know, I'm not going to have these lads, you know, sitting in saunas for the sake of the camera and the views, and sitting in saunas to drop weight dangerously to go in hand-to-hand combat. You know, at the end of the week to fight, it's not going to happen. I don't think these lads are up for it. You know, I'm going to be in my right to pull a fight on the Contender show. And sorry, lads, it's hard luck. You know, safety's paramount. But yeah, there will be paramedics on site.
That's great.
Proper medics on site. Yeah.
Because you just never know, do you? That's
100%. I mean, it's bare knuckle boxing. You know, they take one on the chin, they can hit a canvas. You know, and the head can come off the canvas with the impact of the shot as well. So, you know, safety is paramount for these lads. And like you're saying, you know, and every lad that's on the Contender Series, they're on your live tonight. So I'm going to say it openly. You know, if I feel like you're not up for the fight just because you're in the series and you've gone through the camp, and if I feel like you're genuinely up to it in terms of you look drained, you look under the weather, anything like that, I will pull you straight away. Your safety will be paramount.
That's good to see. And Lee responded there with, glad to see you've got the best interest of the fighters. Brilliant. Great stuff. So you've said about how you're going to be housing these fighters. And by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. Press the notification bell so you're going to get a notification. That's both on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure you press that notification. So next time we're live with a bunch of fighters like we do every single Sunday at 8:30, you'll know. Okay. So with these houses, so you've got 2 houses. I'm very familiar with the Contender thing.
Yeah.
Is there going to be security in these houses? Because all I'm thinking, listen, that testosterone is going to be through the roof. And these lads are already going to be pretty handy, but probably a bit mad.
Well, what we've done is,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, basically, there was 2 options. Option 1 was to house them all in one house at the same time. Obviously, you know, the house will be cameraed and stuff like that. Then option 2 was going to house. The reason we was going to go with option 2 is because the 6 fighters that live in one house and 6 in the other are both on the same team, so the testosterone doesn't have to go at each other. But they can still go at each other. So what we are going to do, we're going to be housing them in the one big house, and obviously I'll be living on site with the lads as well. Just keep a bit of order in there, you know what I mean? Because testosterone is going to be flying. But what you've got to remember is these lads aren't going to know who they're fighting until a day, 2 days before. So obviously, we understand there's going to be a bit of testosterone, there's going to be a bit of sparring. They might want to take the sparring home because they've had a bad day and stuff like that. So at least if I'm on site, I'll be living on site, and obviously the coaches will be living in the big house as well. So we're all under the one roof.
That's cool.
But I think it'll be kind of good as well, obviously because they're going to be under the camera and stuff like that. So yeah,
fantastic, great stuff.
The fights will be live streamed as well on the YouTube platform. Each fight.
Great stuff. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be bringing a fighter probably on every week, just to talk about them and talk about how they're getting on and stuff. It's going to be quite a journey, and we can lead up to the end. Now, of course, so going back into it, you had a documented fight with Decker Heggie. We spoke about this on a previous live, and I'm not going to delve too much into that again. But he's also having his own venture, isn't he, with that backyard brawls thing?
Yeah,
Is this going to cause more friction?
But it can't really. No, because look, I'm doing a contender series, so like I say, I'm not here to jump in I'm not here to rock the feathers for any other promotion. What they're doing is what they're doing. I mean, he's doing backyard brawls. That's his platform. Then you've got other platforms where they're doing 3-4 shows a year of bare knuckle boxing. That's their platform. I'm doing a contender series. It's never been done before. What's the aim to get out the contender? I'm looking to go, and this is season 1. I'm looking to go, do this as like a yearly thing, and I'm looking to do 3 to 5 years. Build this platform the best they can build it. So I'm not really watching what Decker Heggie's doing. In all fairness, I did want the rematch, but I'm not going to go down that road because I'm past all that now. If he's doing his backyard brawls and if it's working for him, fair play to him. And he has got a lot of it. Remember, he's had 18 fights, so he's got a lot of experience in bare knuckle boxing. And I'm not going to contaminate with what them guys are doing. I mean, if there was another contender series going on in the UK, then obviously I've got competition. It'd cause friction. But as for backyard brawls and stuff like that, that isn't what my aim is. His aim is obviously getting backyard brawls and people having a few scraps in here and there. I'm trying to my aim is to get a few lads in that need opportunities, give them the opportunity on the platform, try and build them up, and try and get these lads out there. That's what my aim is. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I can't get every fighter that comes into the contender house recognition. It's not for me really to get them recognition, but I'm just hoping that promoters look at what I'm doing. Look out. They like the taste of these guys. Yeah, I'll take this lad. I'll get this lad. I'll give them an opportunity. That's what I'm here for.
I like it.
See, mine's totally different from what other promotions are doing. So, like I say, that's pretty much it, really.
Yeah, I get that. It's a separate thing. I was just thinking because it's a YouTube channel, because is that going to create any more? I watched the video the other day. People love making videos of you. There's people out there who are incredibly talented, and me and you have laughed at it. And let's just say any advertising is good advertising, if you wanted for a better word.
Yeah.
But I saw the one of Dougie Joyce, who basically stood there, blatantly outspoken. I'm having nothing to do with the contender series. Yeah. I've got my own thing going on with 3D Fight Club. You're doing the contender series. But it seemed like it was, I don't know, it just seemed a bit sudden. I understand why he's doing it. Matter of fact, is this what's happened? Is there something financial or an argument or what's going on?
There's not really no argument. Obviously, what me and Dougie done, we started everything together back to back, and then I think as things have progressed. Remember, I walked from the 3D Fight Club platform after the first show. I sat down with him and just said, I'm out. Do you know what I mean? It was when I went pretty much, I didn't really go my own way then. I was still attached to the 3D in terms of turning up at the shows, giving them around at the shows, doing the press conferences, which are out there. And it just got to the stage where I've gone my own way, when, like you're saying, you got to remember, my first podcast I done, a couple of podcasts was with Dougie. We started this at the same time. So obviously, he just probably wanted me, I don't know if he wanted me to still be attached to him at the 3D or work together and so forth, but I just feel like what I'm doing now, is just something I've always wanted to, since I got involved in the sport, is do that. So in terms of we've had this major fallout and everything else like that, isn't the case. It was a bit abrupt at the start because I've gone my own way, but the one thing, we're family, so it's not going to go no further where it goes in terms of it's a major, massive fallout. I mean, obviously the YouTube trolls make things a lot worse. I mean, since the video was made, I done my video saying that, the Contender is my platform and so forth. And did I come a bit abrupt on it, because, Dougie was going to be part of the Contender with me, but he's wanted to go his own way and made it clear he wants to do what he's doing and I'm not part of his promotion. So I've gone my way. We've spoke since that behind the scenes because we're family, we're not going to fall out, and that's pretty much it. I do wish Dougie well with the 3D Fight Club because it's, from where we started it to where it is now. You go to one of them shows, it's probably one of the best bare knuckle shows you'll go to. The shows are immense. All I can do is wish him well with his team, and I do believe it'll be a success. But at the minute, I'm just on my own path, my own track with what I'm doing. So just for the trolls and everything out there, there's not been this big, massive, major fallout how it looks and everything else. But it is what it is. And like I said, I wish the whole of the 3D Fight Club team well. Do you know what I mean? And I had some good laughs. Still had some good laughs down there when we was putting the shows on and behind the scenes stuff and all that. It was all immense. But this time it's about myself on my new platform with what I'm doing.
Lovely. So BKB Contender then, where can we see this? Where can we watch it? Is there a channel? Where do we see it?
Oh yeah. So basically, what you've got the BKB Contender channel on YouTube. So every bit of content, the build up to it, there's already stuff going on there. People have subbed to the channel already. If you go on that channel there, there's going to be content from now up till August. The first week of August is when the fighters go into the house. So there'll be 3 uploads a week. So I'll just give you a bit of a rundown. So you're going to have on Wednesday, you can have the upload of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which will be an hour, probably an hour series of BKB Contender of the fighters in training camp, so forth. Then we'll put the poll on the YouTube channel because I'll pick obviously the fighters who's going to fight each other, and then obviously we'll have on the Friday there'll be another upload. There'll be an hour upload with we're doing like a gloves are off, but it'll be called the wraps are off. Both fighters will be going head to head. They've been chosen to fight each other, so it'll be a bit.
Yeah, be entertaining.
It'll be a bit entertaining. We've got some characters in there that's well documented.
You're gonna have to get some security, mate, and tell you how that's going to go off.
And then obviously on the Sunday of the 8-week series, on the Sunday, there's going to be one fight a week. On the Sunday, then obviously there'll be another hour of the content of the 2 fighters getting driven to the location. Obviously, they'll get the medicals, they'll get the rules, they'll square off, and then they'll fight live stream. So you're going to have 3 1-hour videos of content on the series going up for a week, for 8 weeks. So you're going to have 3 1-hour videos uploaded, so it'll be streamed on the YouTube platform on the BKB Contender.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thanks.
Yeah, that's fine. Dan, it's a
letting us
pleasure.
know all about it. I'm looking forward to supporting you. And do you know what? It's quite nice. It's quite nice that it doesn't matter how much crap you're getting, that you're just proving wrong. You're doing what you're doing, and who's going to be laughing when this could be potentially a success.
Yeah, so. Do you know what? I don't really. When you come on these platforms, you've got to have thick skin. So, the majority of these people, they're never going to come out and tear it up with me on the cobbles, are they? And they'll just give me bad press. So I don't mind. I've got used to them, but to be fair, I can only thank them because they're the ones that have got me to get my platform out here. Do you know what I mean?
You're getting all your views and stuff. All the views. Honestly, it's so funny.
I appreciate it, but Dan,
I did a video for Dean yesterday, right? And I was heading up for the boxing last night, and I live by a lake, and I was like, I'll do it there, have a nice backdrop of lake. I thought, oh no, someone's going to put Shrek on my head or something.
Since I've been on this positive path and I'm not wanting to fight everybody every 2 minutes because since I've been this.
I seem to have lost you a little bit, Dean. I seem to have lost you a little bit there. Hopefully, we can get Dean back in a second.
Yeah, I'm back. He's back. I was saying so. Yeah, since everything's moving forward, but this Contender series, look, it's going to be immense, and I just want to give a shout out. So I'm not going to name sponsors or anyone else individually, but I want to give a big shout out to the team that's got involved and the people that's got behind me. And a big shout out to you, Dan, as well. For giving me the exposure on your channel. And I just want to give a shout out to all the lads, because I know a lot of the lads have tuned into the live tonight. It is a Sunday, some of them are up early in the morning, so I appreciate that. I'll give a big shout out to Marcus Pond, because I know he popped up straight away, mate, and and I believe that it's going to be immense, and it's good because these lads that are going in here, remember it's bare knuckle boxing, they're in a Contender series, and if you do know a fighter, fighter or you support a fighter, get behind them, you know, because it's not easy. Bare knuckle, you know, they're going in there and they're pitting, knowing that they can't. Once they're in, they can't go nowhere until they fight. Do you know what I mean? And fair play to them. Fair play to all of them. Dan,
Amazing.
Appreciate you having me on, buddy.
Likewise, and good luck to all the lads. I'll be seeing each one of you soon. We'll watch this BKB contender, and we've finally got Shamara Woods out in the US, who's going to be having a debut very soon. Take care. See you soon.
Take care.
Shamara, welcome to the show. Bless your
Hello.
heart. I see in the background there. Is that your little one, by the way?
Yes, it was. I have a 6-year-old son.
Is he there?
He's not. He's currently upstairs playing Pokemon.
He plays Pokemon.
Yes.
I love Pokemon. That is my guilty. Honestly, that is my guilty pleasure.
She has all the cards.
Mate, I'm telling you, I reckon I've spent about $2.5 grand in the last year on it. Don't tell me wife, okay? Because she'll kill me. But yeah, we open them and I pretend that it's me son's passion.
Yeah, it's definitely his passion.
Yeah. So Shamara, welcome to the show. You're a debutant professional. You're fighting very soon,
Right.
and I will say you're very strong. I saw you on the pads a little bit earlier, and I thought I'd share this with you guys. Check this out.
Hello?
Like, listen, if I was with you, I'd be making a bed. Okay, because you're really strong. What weight are you?
I am debuting at 140. We're currently going down. 140 is going to be my debut weight, and we're making our way down to the 135, 130 division.
You're very strong.
Thank you.
Very, very strong for that weight. So welcome to the show. I love speaking to debutants, and I like to support boxing, and it's great and I love to follow the journeys too. It's made some amazing friends through. So where about are you? Where about are you in the US?
I am currently residing in Allentown, Pennsylvania. My amateur career actually took place in Orlando, Florida. So I've been around a little bit, been in a few different states, but currently myself, I am in Allentown and my coach is in Bethlehem.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. So tell us a bit about you, where you're fighting out of. Give us a sneak peek into Shamara.
A little sneak peek into Shamara. I am 27 years old. I'm fighting out of Allentown, Florida. My coach is Fernando Arroyo. I have been with Fernando Arroyo for about 8 months, an incredible 8 months. I mean, it's just been a journey. I started off boxing when I was 14 years old. I started competing, actually, not a lot of people know, but I started competing in Muay Thai kickboxing at about 17 and then made my way back into boxing. So it's been an incredible journey. I do have a 6-year-old son, so I actually got out of boxing when I was about 20. I had my son. I gained actually a lot of weight. I went up to 210. So not a lot of people kind of know that, but it was a struggle to get back into boxing. I had my first amateur boxing bout again about 11 months after my son was born at 130 in Orlando, Florida. So a majority of my career actually took place in Florida. And of course, my pro career is taking place in Allentown. I train out of Allentown. My coach is from Puerto Rico. So, we're very diverse. But my debut is going to be in my hometown in Orlando, Florida. So we're very excited to come back to Orlando. I've been gone for about a year. It's been a journey.
Orlando. Tell me you go to Disneyland.
I have only been once when I was 14.
I can kind of understand it because it's almost like when you live by the sea and then people go, oh, it must be really nice by the sea.
You never get to go.
Not really. Yeah, not really. No, I just go home. Yeah, I'm with you.
It's overly packed. All the tourists are coming. So the people that actually live in Orlando never really want to go to Disney because it's overly packed. It's tourists. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
That. I love it. So tell us a little bit about then your amateur background, what you achieved as an amateur.
My amateur background was actually under the coach of Dorian Beaupierre, pro fighter out of Oviedo, Florida. I have over 37 amateur fights. I've fought on Undisputed Promotion, which is now a pro promotion, but they did used to host a lot of amateur shows that gave us a really great platform to kind of know what it feels like to go pro. I've been at 4 national tournaments. I was semifinalist against Whitney Gomez. I actually just competed at nationals just to kind of get my feet wet because I was not competing for over 2 years. Once COVID hit, I gained a significant amount of weight. So now a lot of people know, but it's been a struggle trying to get back down. I went up to,
Yeah.
after COVID hit, I went up to 175, 180. And the coach that I'm currently with now actually has brought me down that weight. But my whole amateur career was based out of Florida. I've traveled all over and I've absolutely had an amazing time. I've done Golden Gloves. I've done Golden Gloves twice. Like I said, I fought at nationals 4 times. I've had over 37 amateur fights. I also fought Tatiana Ortiz from Puerto Rico for the WBA amateur title. And I did win that. That was back in December of 2019.
Very good. Very, very good. Love it, love it. And I've got to back you up on the weight thing. I think that not many people are talking about it. I mean, during lockdown, I think there's a lot of things that went on that people don't realize. People turn to things like drink, drugs, food. Do you know what I mean? Not doing as much exercise. I mean, you don't know this, but I recently went up to 33.5 stone. I was 33.5 stone, and that's like, I don't know, 450 pounds or something.
Wow.
So in the last 8 or 9 months, with help, I've gone down to I've lost 13 stone. So
Wow.
all I can say is I absolutely understand.
Yeah, COVID was a
36 years of my life.
huge change for me. Right before COVID hit, we were actually going to go to Vegas to compete, and after that, we were going to turn pro. So once COVID hit, that put a complete stop to my amateur career. I had gotten into a motorcycle accident, so not a lot of people realize all the struggles that have came along with COVID and having to drop back down in weight. And I credit my coach Fernando Arroyo that really took me under his wing, and I'm back down to fight weight.
Great stuff. And it's an early question to ask you, but how far do you feel you can go in the sport of boxing?
Gosh, extremely far. I'm talking all world titles. That is my goal. That is and I'm not going to stop until I become a world champion. We're looking at the WBO, WBA, any of the world titles. We're looking at any of them. I'll fight any and everybody.
I like it. Confident. Go on. Let's go, champ. Love it. And as far as kind of countries, is there any countries you'd like to visit and box in?
I actually would love to box over in Russia. I've heard a lot of great things about boxing in Russia.
Wow.
That is actually one of the destinations I would love to travel to eventually. Yeah, in boxing. I love to travel, so I'm open to fighting anywhere in the country. Anywhere. I mean, anywhere overseas. I would love to fight in Mexico. I'd love to fight in the Dominican Republic. I'd love to fight in England, Ireland. Not a lot of people know, but I actually am of Irish descent. Through my mother. So I would love the chance to visit Ireland and fight over there as well.
Plenty of good things going on with Katie Taylor over there at the moment. So you never know. You never know. We've got some love coming in here from Lisa. Said, welcome, Shamara. What fab energy you're giving out. Your smile is infectious.
Thank you.
Richard Vernon, congratulations on the weight loss. Dan, you should be proud of yourself. Cheers, Mocha. Thank you, my man. Thank you, my man. So, pressing question. But I think it always makes a measure. And I think this is a good practice for when you start getting in the big time and you get all these. I mean, I don't like going press conferences because everybody asks you the same question and they don't really get to know you. Whereas when we can sit on here, we can have a chat about you and love you a bit, and get some more fans for you, However, pressing question, do you feel a shorter journey to a world title for a female?
Absolutely.
Does it affect the importance of a world title? And also, do you think that in turn affects the amount of money that females make?
Well, to begin with, we all know that women's boxing is not getting paid as much as men's. It's slowly on the rise. Obviously, we've seen people like Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, Alicia Baumgartner that have done amazing things. Clarissa Shields, some of my favorite fighters that have done amazing things in women's boxing. But it is a shorter way to a world title. As a female, we're looking at maybe 7 to 8 fights and then a title shot because there isn't a big pool of women fighters as compared to men. There's not a lot of women fighters. Not a lot of women, want to step in here and do this. It takes a very strong and a little bit crazy type of woman to want to fight for a living. And of course, we love it. We love it.
I like it.
But it definitely does affect um, the amount of money that we make. But then I also feel that
Yeah. It's not because of the equal opportunity, I don't think, anymore. Because I think people are
mm-mm,
really bought into the female boxing thing, and I actually
yeah,
really, really like it. I just personally, it was a question that I wanted to know from you, but my personal opinion, that is the only reason for. But as far as boxing, football, soccer, Hmm, I'm not about that, but it's a bit different. But with female boxing, again, you can have 7, 8 fights, and you could
hmm
literally. We spoke to Nina Hughes the other day, who's the WB, I think she's the WBA Super Bantamweight World Champion. She was on the show, and she said she's 39, 40 years old. 39, she went pro and won a world title in a year. Now, if a man did that with a massive pool, there's obviously different levels within that. There's not,
correct,
is there, with female boxing? So I think that's really the real reason that females aren't getting paid as much, unless you are the Claressa Shields or the Katie Taylors when they are bringing in significant money. And hopefully, you and Katie Taylor, definitely, and Claressa Shields are going to inspire the next generation, so we can start filling this pool a little bit more, and let's start making things a little bit more, more financially suitable, really, for
absolutely.
the
Women's
female
boxing
boxing.
is on the rise, completely
It
on
is.
the rise. I mean, you go to boxing gyms now. When I started boxing, I was the only female in a vast majority of the gyms. You go to boxing gyms now, you see little girls. I went to nationals. There was a little girl about 7 years old. Amazing, amazing
Mhm.
footwork, amazing hand speed. So you're just seeing more and more females at a younger age getting into the sport. And it's so amazing to see because it builds such a strong foundation for women.
Yeah, I like it. I like it very much. I'll be doing the same thing. I already teach my little boy, but my little girl, my little boy's nails. I'm telling you, his nails, nails. I'm telling you, if someone tries to abduct him, he'll just fill him in. Honestly, he's only 8, and my little girl, she's nearly 2, so she's a bit too young at the moment. But yeah, you've got to teach him. You've got to teach him. So obviously, female boxing is different than males.
Hmm.
They're 2-minute rounds,
Correct.
female, and 3-minute rounds for male. Do you feel that should be that way, or why do you think it's that way anyway? If we want to
Um,
be equal, then we need to make it equal.
I agree to a certain extent. At the end of the day, I actually had this discussion with my coach. My coach is
Okay.
super into the science of the body and researching everything and understanding, the difference between men and women and how a woman's body works and what we can adapt to. And
Okay.
as you know, for amateur fights, we do fight 3-minute rounds. We fight
Hmm.
3 3-minute rounds. When we go pro, it changes to 2. And at the end of the day, a woman's body is just not equipped to perform at the level of a man's body. That's just scientifically proven. No matter how much we train, no matter how hard we train, I'm not saying it can't be done, but scientifically proven, women's body just I don't believe can push as hard as a man's, and that we're not a man. We don't have the testosterone. I'm not
Okay.
saying that it's impossible, but it's scientifically proven. We're not men.
Pretty fair. I like the idea. Yeah, that's pretty fair. And I do believe in equal opportunity. But if that is the fact that it's scientifically proven that females can't push as hard, then that is equal opportunity. And let them do 2 minutes. It's cool. I like that. What's your thoughts on, and I think she's really cool of you to answer these questions in this manner, by the way, because it's quite pressing, but it's nice that you're so open. I like being open with everybody. You should see the discussions I get in. Honestly, it's ridiculous. We're seeing a lot of transgender moves into different sports. People
Correct.
going into kind of swimming when they were as a
Hmm.
man and being 200th in the world, trans whatever into a transgender, and then number 1 and breaking records in the sport.
Hmm.
Bit different though when it's coming to MMA, boxing, because they are built differently.
Correct.
There was a lady who got her head caved in MMA with a knee, and she had literally her head looked like a donut because she got her head caved in with the knee. What's your opinion on that? Because in my opinion, no chance. When it comes to hurting someone, absolutely categorically no. I don't care what you put in your body. Man should
Hmm.
not be fighting a woman. What's your opinion on that?
Of course, I support the transgender community. I support the LGBT community.
Mhm.
But boxing and fighting is a completely different sport than swimming or golfing
Yeah.
or any of those non-contact sports. As a contact sport, physically you have testosterone in your body, and no matter how much estrogen you take, you can never be a woman. you know, and I hate to say that because I never want it to come off the wrong way, but men are stronger than women. You are always going to be stronger than women. So I don't feel in a contact sport that should be
Yeah.
legal at all. I do not agree with it. I feel like you can very, very permanently injure a woman. You know, of course they're making that transition, but you're always going to have that baseline of you are genetically born a man and you can
Yeah. Bone
seriously injure.
structure and
Yeah.
yeah. Bless you. Bless you. That's really cool of you. I love that. I like having these debates. I've got a good friend, Lisa.
I'm very
It's
open
cool.
to
I
them.
love that. And again, I don't care what you're or what you like as far as your whether it be sexual or attractiveness. Don't care. But if it comes to people's lives, you know, and you're going to
Yeah,
brain
just
damage
looking
and
at the
caving their head in.
statistics. Statistics, you know, genetically proven. It's just we're women. At the end of the day, we are women, and you there's nothing you can do to change that. There's nothing you can do to match a man's power and a man's strength. As much
Yeah,
as we train naturally, it's just impossible.
it is. I mean, I don't know why I'm saying this to you, but you think you're dead cool. My wife, I love her to bits. But I'm a freak. I'm like Shrek. Honestly, I've got like ridiculous strength. I don't know why. Just there's anything. Just I'm dead heavy-handed. And she says to me once, she went, "If you punch me, you'd probably kill me." You know. I'm like, I'd never ever do that, my love. I'd never ever lay a finger on you. You're my wife. But it's true, and it should absolutely not be in the sport of boxing. We've got a comment
No,
coming in here. That's what the WB says for safety respect. Absolutely. And
correct.
there's nothing wrong with questioning it. They're talking about people's lives here. You know,
Yeah,
this isn't
absolutely. In a
no,
contact sport, I'm very, you know, I feel very strongly about that. You know, especially because at the end of the day, a lot of us are mothers. A lot of us have kids to come home to, you know,
yeah,
and I would hate to take a fight and not come home to my son because you didn't look at the safety aspect of what could happen.
yeah. I like that. So you said earlier on who your hero is, so I'm going to ask you outright, which female fighters do you look up to?
Oh my gosh, there's so many talented fighters. Um, I will say Clarissa Shields is definitely my top because I have met her in person. She's such a humble person. When I was an amateur fighting at Golden Gloves, I got the opportunity to meet her, and she answered a lot of my questions. And to me, that means a lot more than your fighting ability. How you are as a person is huge to me in this sport, especially because there's not a lot of women. So how you are as a person means a lot. So Clarissa Shields is definitely one of the top ones. Also, she's a beast. At this point, I don't feel like anyone can beat her. Alicia Baumgartner is another one. Absolutely love her skills. I love her drive. I love her little sass, her attitude. There's so many different things you can take from each woman in this sport. Each weight class, each woman offers a different kind of training wise. Sanicia, super bad. I believe she fights at like 112, 118, or somewhere along those lines. And she to me is just absolutely amazing. I watched her fight. I've watched her come up and it's amazing to see somebody that small throw every single punch with power. You know, it's just
Okay.
amazing to me. So there is, I love them all. It's very hard to single out which person I look up to the most, because every person offers a different view on the sport.
Clarissa Shields. You probably saw my face changed when you were saying, "Oh, I really like her. She's a really nice
Mhm.
person." Yeah, yeah.
She
But
is.
she don't come across like that.
I will say.
I'll let you into something. I'll let you into something. So me and Clarissa Shields were on the same platform. So what we did, we went from doing this, what we're doing now, and it went really, really well, and we're growing it back again. And then we went onto the TV, and we did 48 shows on the TV. Great. But I miss doing this. This is the reason why I do this every Sunday now. It was on Fight, and Clarissa Shields was there, and I was there. Boxing TV was here. Clarissa Shields was here. So I approached Clarissa and said, "Listen, we're on the same platform. Not only are we on the same platform, we're next to each other, advertised next to each other. I think it'd be good for, because she was asking something like £80 for a pay-per-view, which is just insane. No UK guy or girl or anyone is going to pay 80 quid to watch Clarissa Shields. Fact. Unless it's a family member, fact. Because the truth of it is, she just doesn't come across as a nice person. I said, listen, come on my show. Let's talk about you. Let's learn about you. Let's get people liking you. So at least you might have a chance of someone paying 80 quid for a pay-per-view. And to be honest, she wasn't nice about it. She wasn't nice. And she said, yeah, come on, if we're going to speak about a pay-per-view. I said, well, yeah, we can. But of course, I want people to, there's a reason behind it, just like I'm doing with you now, I want them to know you. I want them to know you're a good person. I want to know your background. I want you to inspire the next generation. All she cared about was, I want my pay-per-view pushed. And then she went on to ignore every single message after. So I find that odd. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just been my personal connection with Claressa Shields. I didn't think she came across like that. And there's been many other times where she's done things that she hasn't done why, if she's this nice person, is she trying to play a villain?
I will say, so originally I'm from Chicago, so I'm from up north. I will say, as a woman that comes from the north, sometimes the way we come off is very strong. But my personal experience, I can't speak on business experiences. I can't speak on other people's experience. But personally, as a woman, when I met her, she was very inviting. She was very open. And she didn't have to be. I was a nobody. I just came down. I visited the gym, and she was very open to talking with me when I messaged her. She was very open to giving me advice on weight cut. At first, I was struggling for Golden Gloves for weight cut. So personally, as a woman to woman, women can tend to be catty to each other. And I didn't get that vibe from her. Even now, I don't get that vibe. I know she comes across very strong. I can't.
Strong's a word.
Strong.
Okay.
Yeah, strong.
Strong. I'm not thinking strong. I'm thinking more, for me personally, and I'm allowed, I know I'm a commentator and I know I have to be 50-50, but I'm also a man, and I'm also, there's nothing wrong with telling you what you think. I think she doesn't come, and by the way, guys, everybody watching, please let me know what you think. Do you think I'm being out of order here? Or do you think the same? Because in my opinion, she doesn't come across as strong. I didn't get strong. I got arrogant, I got greedy, and I got very, very narcissistic. That's what I got. I didn't see that as strong. But what did you mean by strong? As in like up for it, not to take no crap kind of thing?
Yeah, like a strong personality. A lot of people, when they tend to meet me in person, they feel like I have a very strong personality. I don't hold back. There's no filter on my mouth. If I feel something, I'm gonna say it. And when you do reach a certain level, of course, we all get a little big-headed. We're fighters. And different fighters come across different ways, and some are big-headed and some are like, nobody can beat me. And then some are very humble and some are very laid back. My coach is one of those people, very laid back, very quiet, not going to talk a lot. I'm very in your face, very loud, very, hey, look at me. So it just depends on the person.
To be fair, it works. Listen, I'm saying what she may be a lovely lady, okay? And I want to make that very clear. She may be lovely, so I might have caught her on a bad day. Who knows? We all have bad days.
Yeah,
maybe.
You never know.
But I don't think she. And let's be honest, the reason why I'm speaking to you right now is because you were that way on social media. I saw your posts going out about inspiring, and I've seen that. You're there like a supermodel and a boxer. I'm like, she's interesting. I need to speak with her. She's cool.
Thank you.
So no, and again, I want to be 100% clear. No disrespect to Claressa Shields in any way. She's a fantastic fighter. She's one of the best to ever do it. But yeah, I think at times she can rub people up the wrong way, in my opinion. We've got a comment here from Neil. Evening, Dan. Just home after a lovely dinner at Friends. Hope you're well, sir. I'm very, very well, mate. Nice to see you. We've got Paul Driscoll. Hiya, Dan. Hiya, mate. Nice to see you. Really nice to see you. Where can we find you then? Where can we follow you on social media?
You can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is actually pureperfection_SW. Pure Perfection actually came from one of my original coaches, Chopper Reed. When I was fighting kickboxing, he actually one day came to me, gave me a pair of white shorts, and he was like, Pure Perfection. That's who you are. And it just stuck. It stuck, and it's been a name I've always stuck with. I love fighting in all way. So whenever you see me fighting, 98% of the time, it's always going to be all way. So Pure Perfection_SW. You can find me on Facebook under Shamara Woods. I also have a like page, which is Pure Perfection.
Don't tell me though on your shorts you have pee-pee.
I did. We actually had to think that logo through. Abbreviated, yeah. We had to think that through a little bit. We're still kind of working on that. Not really sure what we're going to work with, but PP is not going to be on my shorts. Yeah, that was definitely.
I
It
thought it
sounds
to
good
myself.
as
I
a
thought,
whole.
yeah, I like it.
It
But,
sounds great fully,
yeah.
but when you abbreviate it, it's
Why
not
should I
very
pick
marketable.
on? No, that's brilliant. Listen, what a lovely lady, and you know you've got bright hopes for the sport, and you're clearly a lovely person who's going to do so well in the media. I can tell you that. So make sure you follow her on Instagram, and you know what a lovely lady. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and I can't wait to follow your career.
Thank you so much. Can I just give a shout out to my coach? I
Absolutely.
really would like to recognize my coach because this pro debut means the world to me. And without my coach, this would not be happening. I mean, when I say I was down and out, my coach saw something in me and picked me up. And 8 months later, here we are. So to say that I went from 170 pounds to now making a pro debut at 140. The words can't even be expressed. So I'd love to shout out my coach, Fernando Arroyo. Thank you so much. I love to shout out my team in Florida, Coach Rashad, who also worked with me. When I did get into a motorcycle accident, the rehabilitation that coach did for me means the world to me. My mother, of course, because I couldn't do this without mommy, and my
Yeah.
son who pushes me, all my friends. You know, I have a lot of supporters. I have a lot of friends, and I just want to thank you all for sticking by my side. It's been a long time coming, and if you follow my journey, you know that it's been difficult, but we're here, and I can't wait.
Bless you. You're really nice. You've come across so well. Oh my God, you're going
Thank you.
places. All the best to you. All the best to your son. And thanks for coming on the show. Take care.
Thank you so much.
She was absolutely lovely. And in fact, they've all been great today. So thanks everybody for watching. We bring every single Sunday at 8:30. I'm going to be bringing the fighters to the fans. We've had some unbelievable guests on this show. I mean, just to reel off a few: Amir Khan, Roy Jones Jr., Larry Holmes. We spoke to Tyson Fury before he fought Wilder, and this is something I love to do. And I know I get a bit deep with you at the end, but it's something I love to do, and I hope at least you've took a little bit of fun, a little bit of something from this, and I hope you have a fantastic week. Stick into your boxing and take care.